Halloween Kills. Did it? Hey everybody, it's David. Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be my review of Halloween Kills. If you have not seen the movie yet, I do encourage you to please click away and come back once you have. So, Halloween Kills is the second installment in the Halloween trilogy directed by David Gordon Green and features music from John Carpenter, Cody Carpenter, and Daniel Davies. I've seen this movie twice. I saw it Thursday night in theaters and then again on Peacock this past Friday night, and I like it. I'll go through my likes first and then I'll go through my dislikes. The biggest thing that I liked about this movie was Michael Myers. My three favorite actors to ever play Michael Myers are Nick Castle from '78, James G. Courtney from 2018, and Tyler Mane from the Rob Zombie Halloween movie. I felt like the Michael Myers that we saw in this movie was a perfect blend of Nick Castle and Tyler Mane. He was just ruthless in this movie. I think Michael Myers being so ruthless has been a bit of a problem for some of the Halloween purists, but it's what I wanted to see from Michael Myers. I didn't watch any of the trailers going into this. I had heard about the scene with the firefighters, and yes, it was pretty graphic. But man, I'm so glad I didn't see any of the trailer. I've since gone back and watched them, and it just would have spoiled it for me. But man, Michael is just brutal in this movie. You know, the escape from the burning house with the firefighters is one thing, but then there's a scene that follows that pretty closely where he's in this biracial couple's house and he breaks off this light and then smashes it on the counter and then jabs it into this woman's neck. Holy cow, that was awesome. And then takes this woman's poor husband, who he's already bludgeons to death with his head against the wall, throws him over the counter, reaches back behind him, takes a knife from the cutting block, stabs him, reaches back again and grabs another knife, stabs him. 3 or 4 times he grabs a new knife and just stabs this poor guy in the back before finally just grabbing a knife and walking out of the house. Man, that was just crazy. There was nothing gonna get in his way, and that's the kind of Michael I love to see. Another thing that I really liked about this movie was the flashback scene. Spoiler alert, Hawkins is still alive. But we get to see him in a flashback scene. He's pursuing Michael. We get to see Michael in the old '78 mask. And again, I thought that James G. Courtney did a great job. He moved like Nick Castle. Seeing the mask on the big screen was a first for me. I never saw Halloween '78 in the theater, so it was cool seeing the old Michael Myers. They pursue him. They ended up chasing him into the Myers house, and Hawkins' partner says, "Hey Hawkins, there's a dead dog." That was only mentioned briefly in the original movie, and to actually see the dog in the house, it was cool. I mean, it served no purpose, but it was still cool. And then they go upstairs. Hawkins' partner is standing right where he killed Judith Myers, 15 years prior, and Michael just rushes out of nowhere and grabs Hawkins' partner from behind and is choking him out, and Hawkins goes to shoot Myers, shoots his partner instead. Michael escapes, and then you see a dazed Hawkins at the top of the stairs, and in rushes Dr. Loomis. It was so cool to see Dr. Loomis back on the screen. He shouts at the top of the stairs, "Hawkins, has he killed again?" And, it wasn't the greatest impersonation, but again, it was still cool seeing Loomis. That was an awesome fan service. It didn't feel forced. It felt very organic. And then it's outside, and you see Michael just standing there like he did when he was a kid, just kind of just staring off. And you got all these cops in the foreground pointing their guns at Michael. You see Loomis on the porch also pointing a gun at Michael, and it was just very cool to see that whole scene take place. There's another great scene where Lindsay Wallace, Nurse Marion, and a black couple from the first movie that we see briefly dressed as a nurse and a doctor, they're at this park. Lindsay gets out of the car to go warn these kids there's a killer in a white mask that's on the loose. And these kids are just little shits and basically just tell Lindsay, "Hey, it's Halloween night. There's lots of people wearing white masks. There's one here in the park now with us. It keeps playing peekaboo." And, you cut back and see Michael standing behind Lindsay's car, glowing red like he did in the scene from Halloween 78 when he escapes the asylum, jumps on the car, kills Marion, and then proceeds to chase down Lindsay. That was a great scene, lots of tension. That's one thing about this movie I liked a lot too. There were more scenes where there was tension. That was something that I felt was lacking in the 2018 movie. Aside from the scene with Oscar and the scene with Lori where she's trying to chase down Michael upstairs in the compound, there wasn't a lot of scenes with some tension. But this one has several scenes. There's another scene later on in the movie where they're at the Myers house. There's a gay couple that lives there now, and Michael pounds on the back door first. They go to the back door, no one's there. He pounds on the front door, no one's there. But they realize that the back door wasn't locked and it's now ajar. So Michael is in the house, and that was just another great scene. Some more brutal deaths in that scene. And the next scene that had some tension was when later on Lonnie, Cameron, who's also back, and Allison are at the Myers house, and Lonnie tells Allison and Cameron to stay in the car. He's going to go in and confront Michael, and if anything happens, to just leave. Well, Lonnie's in the house, no less than 10 seconds, we hear a gunshot, and Cameron and Allison immediately get out of the car, and they go to the front steps, and they decide to go in the house. And, Michael's in there, and it's just, they're going through the house. They open this closet door at the bottom of the stairs, and Michael has lit a pumpkin. Allison shoots it with her shotgun, and then you hear shuffling upstairs. And again, ruthless Michael. Cameron goes upstairs to find his dad, and Michael just attacks Cameron, is banging his head on the floor. He's got his head pushed through the banister of the steps. Allison is screaming at the top of her lungs, "Come get me, come get me." And Michael stops, goes down the stairs, but before he gets past Cameron, looks over, snaps his neck, and then goes downstairs after Allison. So lots of great scenes with Michael, lots of tension. Again, I love seeing the brutal side of Michael. What else? I really liked how Karen had a big role in this movie, and they kind of just put Laurie Strode in the back seat. She didn't have a major role in this movie, which was good. I mean, I like Laurie Strode, but it was good to see something other than Michael and Laurie. So Karen takes a big part in this movie. She didn't have a big role in the last one. I know a lot of people said that they weren't crazy about Karen in the last movie. I didn't have any problems with her, but she really stepped it up in this one, and I thought she did a great job, um, all the way up until the end before she gets killed. I really would have liked to have seen her make it to ends, but I guess it will be the final showdown between Laurie and Michael. So lots of cool scenes, the flashback scene, the park scene, the Myers house scenes, those were all great. The score, I really liked the score in this movie. John Carpenter, Cody Carpenter, and Daniel Davies have brought it again. I will say that I still like the 2018 score a little more than this one, but this had some really nice pieces in it. There's the piece that's played in the park. I think it's called Rampage, maybe. There's another piece on the soundtrack called Cruel Intentions I really like. And another one I think is called Unkillable. But some really solid pieces on this new score, and I am looking forward to listening to it on the vinyl that I received on Tuesday. But yeah, awesome stuff from Carpenter. Now, on to things that I didn't like so much. So I knew going into this that there were going to be some returning characters. That was announced way back 2-3 years ago even. And one of the returning characters in this movie was Tommy Doyle. I don't know if it's the way he was written or just the way Anthony Michael Hall portrayed it, but Tommy Doyle was just really annoying for me in this movie. He was just always turned up to 11. Every line that he delivered in this movie just felt like he was over the top. We first see him after the flashback scene. He's at a bar with Lonnie, Nurse Marion, and Lindsay. He goes up on stage and tells the story of Halloween 1978 and how 40 years ago a crazy man killed 3 teenagers and stalked a young babysitter and 2 kids. And that's another thing that got on my nerves. Every chance this movie had to reference 40 years ago, 40 years ago, 40 years ago, we get it. It happened 40 years ago. But yeah, Tommy, he was just so over the top the entire movie, and it got on my nerves. I mean, he's the one that gets the town folk all stirred up and creates this mob that's going after Michael Myers. This happened 40 years ago. Aside from Laurie, Sheriff Brackett, of course, is traumatized from losing Lindsay. And, yes, Tommy was in the house and so was Lindsay, but the rest of the town, it was probably just headlines. They've all forgot about it and moved on. So it was just crazy to see how he got the entire town worked up over all this. And I don't know. He just really got under my skin. But yeah, that was really the only thing I didn't care much for in that movie was just Tommy. Tommy just was too much. And he ends up getting it in the end, so I was glad to see him killed off. So yeah, those are my likes and dislikes. I would give the movie a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, and I think a lot of it had to do with me going into this completely blind. That was my biggest complaint with 2018, was that there was too much shown in the trailers, and there was very much that surprised me in all that movie. So happy I did that. I will do the same for Halloween Ends. I'm looking forward to getting this movie on 4K. I've already pre-ordered it from Best Buy, And I can't wait to see where this all leads to and Halloween ends. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. So let me know in the comments below. Did you like the movie? Did you hate it? Were you kind of meh, middle of the road? Let me know in the comments. I like reading your all's comments and chatting back and forth with you all through the comments. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Hope you all are doing well, and until next time, take care. Thanks.